Alrighty. Well, if you've been listening to this show for any length of time, you know that I think that Bill Clinton is a criminal and a master manipulator. I think that his foundation that has millions, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars donated to it by the wealthiest people and the wealthiest nations and the wealthiest companies in the world is up to no good. Because why would wealthy people donate $53 million to Clinton's foundation? Are you aware of anything? You see it in the press? Any reporting on what Clinton's foundation is doing to help the world? We ever hear a peep about it? No. But yet he receives at least, minimum, hundreds of millions of dollars a year into his foundation. But yet we hear nothing about anything that it's actually doing. Now, you would imagine, in order to make it more, what's the word we're looking for, desirable for people to donate to, its accomplishments would be yelled from the rooftops by Bill Clinton or the president of the foundation or what have you. But we don't hear a thing. And yet hundreds of millions of dollars a year flood into that foundation. Well, I have no doubt that he's a criminal. I have no doubt that he's a felon. I'm simply, as but one example, I'm simply unclear on whether he or Hillary ordered the death of Vince Foster. But clearly, if one ordered it, the other knew about it. But now we find out that Rahm Emanuel used Bill Clinton to approach Representative Joe Sestak to drop out of Pennsylvania's Democratic Senate primary. Now, what they're saying now is that it was an unpaid position. So here's what they were saying. They were saying, look, Joe, if you drop out of this race, we will give you a juicy position in the White House, working for the president. High profile. Now, do we really imagine that the pitch was to Joe, but you don't get paid? Is there anybody in their right mind who actually believes that? This guy was running to become a senator of the United States. Is there anybody who believes he was going to accept a job with no pay? So, why now is the White House characterizing the job as without pay? Well, because it is a federal felony to attempt to influence the outcome of a political election by promising rewards. So, what they're trying to do is to take the pressure off. Okay? Because what they want to do, clearly, whoever would have done this is guilty of a felony. However, what they're trying to do is make it harder for somebody to actually want to, someone in, say, the U.S. Department of Justice, to want to bring charges. Because they're saying the pitch now is that it was for no pay. So there wasn't really a reward. As a matter of fact, they're going to characterize it that Joe was offered the opportunity to serve his country without pay. So he was offered nothing. It was actually going to be a burden upon him. He wasn't offered a reward. He was offered the opportunity to sacrifice, to do without reward on behalf of his country. That's going to be the pitch. Because if there was a reward, if there was pay, it was a bribe to toss an election. It's a felony, inarguably. To say, look, you pull out of the race and we'll give you this high-paying job is a felony. But you've got to look at the people involved. Barack Obama comes out of Chicago/Illinois politics. What did I tell you about Blago? Okay, so I told you the only reason that he got caught is he forgot that all the cronyism, all the backroom deals, all of the illegal, felonious manipulations that he could do in Illinois, because that's how the political system operates there. It's like breathing there. He just lost sight of the fact that when you do that concerning federal stuff, and you're such a nimrod to do it blatantly, that somebody's going to come and do bad things to you. He just forgot, like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was doing my same old Illinois corrupt felonious actions now in a federal venue. That's all. That's all that happened. He was doing the same thing he's been doing for years and years and years and years. He just did it in a different venue, and he did it like a bonehead, and somebody slapped him for it. So Barack Obama comes out of that environment. That's exactly how Barack Obama does business. Rahm Emanuel, if there's somebody who cares about the law less than Rahm Emanuel, I can't possibly imagine who it is. He doesn't give a crap as long as he's not caught doing anything, as long as his hand isn't in the cookie jar, and since he's chief of staff for Barack Obama, as long as Barack's hand isn't caught in the cookie jar. Other than that, Rahm Emanuel would break every law in this country to get his way. He just doesn't give a crap. And we've got Bill Clinton, who I believe is like a professional criminal. So here we have Barack Obama, who comes out of this completely corrupt Illinois political system. We have Rahm Emanuel, who, in my opinion, could care less about the law if he gets his way. And we've got Bill Clinton, who is, in my opinion, a professional criminal. All working together on this deal with Joe Sestak. Yesterday, Barack Obama and William Jefferson Clinton had lunch together. What a coincidence! Right at this particular moment, when there's a felony at risk, suddenly Bill shows up at the White House for lunch. Isn't that amazing? I'll tell you, no, I'm shocked. First of all, is there any record of what they talked about at lunch? Nope. If the White House issued some sort of statement concerning what they talked about at lunch, would I believe it? Not for a second. Not even close. What they're talking about is damage control. And I can just imagine the conversation. All right, look, guys. We stick our hand in the cookie jar hundreds of times a day. We violate the law. We oppress citizens. We violate their rights. We screw the system around. We screw the whole nation around virtually every time we blink. But it looks like our underwear's sticking out on this one. Looks like in this particular case, we could go down for a felony. So, how are we going to characterize this? We all need to know our roles here. How are we going to characterize this, both in the media and concerning any Justice Department inquiry? And how are we going to rig any Justice Department inquiry so that it looks legit to the press and to the American people, but we've got control of it the whole time. Nothing's ever going to come of it. It's going to be declared that there might have been an error in judgment, but there was really no crime. How are we going to rig all this? And that's exactly the conversation that's taking place.